princess, welcome back to my channel. Sorry I sound really nasally. I've been kind of sick for a while. Anyway, today is the first part of our makeup 101 with me, so today we're going to be doing my foundation routine. I'm going to be showing you guys how to get your skin popping and how I personally do my foundation. It's nothing major, something you haven't seen before, but I just thought I would share. And also, because it's summertime, this is an appropriate foundation routine for the summertime. It would last all day, it would hold, it would, it'd be on fleek all day. Also, one important thing to note is that the best way to ensure that your foundation lasts all day, no matter what foundation you use, is to prime. Your base is the most important. I'm going to show you guys how I prime. And before, I used to get really bad smile lines, like they were horrible around my mouth. Looks like someone drew two long black lines. And Auntie Jackie taught me how to get rid of those. And I also shared that in the next video. It's nothing out of the ordinary, just my foundation routine. I hope you guys enjoy it, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!
Hi again. So we start off with priming, and I typically use the Becca primer because it's the best primer I've ever tried. I use it around my T-zone, around my nose, on my forehead, and just areas where I get oily in general. Then I go in with like another primer that's semi-mattifying, not really. Here I use the NYX Shine Killer, sometimes I use the Mary Kay one. And then I use that all over my face, everywhere else. And then I go in with the Cover FX powder, and I typically use my brush or like a big fluffy face sponge, and then I go in with like a liquid highlighter, and I put that on the high points of my cheeks.
See, I like to joke, but this romance that I'm feeling is what you prefer. Girl, I've been waiting for ages for an angel.
Then I would go in with an orange color corrector. Here I use the Smashbox color correcting stick, and I use it around my mouth, on a few spots around my face, just typically areas where I have more hyperpigmentation than others, under my eyes.
'Cause you are beautiful.
And I go in my finger and I just blend all around my mouth, everywhere that I color corrected. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Just blend, blend, blend. Then I'll use my eyeshadow primer to prevent my smile lines. So I learned this trick from Jackie, and I just put it on my smile lines. I blend it out a little bit with my finger, and then I set it with my setting powder that I use to set the whole of my face. And typically after this, I would go in and spray my setting spray around just to help my foundation blend nicer. But I skipped that part in this video because I don't know why, but I did. Next is my foundation. I use the Tarte Amazonian Clay Foundation in Deep Honey. I use just a little bit, then I put it all around my face. I first go in with a brush just to distribute it nicely and evenly. And then I go in with a damp beauty blender, like a clean, damp beauty blender sponge. And then I just use that to further blend it in and make it look as nice as possible.
'Cause I've been waiting for ages for an angel like you.
The beauty blender, I don't just like press and bounce on my face. I press and roll. So it's a trick I learned from, I think, Rennie Vasquez, and just gives your foundation a much nicer finish. You press and you roll it on your face as you press. And don't forget to go down your neck to make sure your neck and your face match, because you don't want that line of demarcation. Then I go in with my Nars Creamy Radiant Concealer, like everyone else on YouTube, in the shade Amande. And I just put that right under my eyes, the bridge of my nose, my cupid's bow, my chin, and a tiny bit on my forehead, because I already have a pretty large forehead. We're not trying to make that any larger.
Cause I want you, girl, I know you want me too. I'm just playing, see, I like to joke, but this romance that I'm feeling is what you.
And then I go back in my beauty blender and I just blend that all out. And I usually start from everywhere else and leave under my eye, because again, I learned this from Jackie. To increase coverage, you want to let it dry just a little bit and get slightly tacky, and then you go ahead and blend it and set it immediately. And another trick I learned from her, Jackie's, as you can tell, Jackie's my mom, but yeah, when you're highlighting under your eye, instead of spreading it out and taking it all the way back, if you focus it just right under your eye, that makes your face appear slimmer. And then if you take it all the way out, that makes your face appear wider. So if you have a slim face and you're trying to make it wider, then you would take it all the way out. If you have a wide face, which I kind of do, and you try to make it look a little slimmer, you focus it just under your eye like an upside down triangle. Then I go in with my Cover FX setting powder. I don't bake immediately. I first set with a darker powder, and then I go in and bake with my Sasha Buttercup. But just set under my eye, especially. For the rest of my face, I just use my Sasha Buttercup. For an angel like you. And then my Sasha, and then I bake. I don't bake for too long. I bake for maybe like 1 to 2 minutes. But yeah, that's how I bake, and I just set it under my eye. I try to shape my nose, and I bring it in a little closer to my nose, just a little bit away from the bridge, so that way it forms like a natural contour already, and I don't need to use a dark contour. And after I've put it, I leave it for like maybe 2 to 3 minutes, around that. And then I go in with my Covergirl bronzer, and that's what I use to contour my nose, because I do not like a really dark contour on my nose because it looks really unnatural. So I just use a little bit, and then I sharpen the lines with my Sasha Buttercup powder. Then I use my sleek contour kit and this brush from Juvia's Place, and I just go ahead to contour my cheekbones. I use that powder, the contour kit for my cheekbones and under my jaw. Then I go in with my Sasha Buttercup and I just make the contour sharper, and then I press the rest of the powder into my face, and then I brush it off right then. So typically 2 to 3 minutes really. Then I blend out all the powder, dust off all the excess powder, and my contour is looking sharp. Then I go with my bronzer again, and I just bronze all over my face. I use it to blend out my contour. I bronze around my forehead. Make sure you prevent that line of demarcation, and don't forget your hairline. It's really important. And then contour my cheekbones. My jawline, and look how sharp it gets. I'm just being dramatic, but yeah. And yeah, just keep blending. And then now it's time for blush. This palette is just amazing. It's my favorite blush palette. And I just put blush on my cheeks. And I think I went a little OD, but it'll be fine. Then I go back in with my Cover FX powder, and I just use that to blend out everything, just to make sure everything is just flushes as one color, and there's no harsh lines, no lines of demarcation. Everything just looks nice and well put together. For an angel like you, when I collect my... Trust me to dance a little bit. And I use my favorite highlighter of all time, my Artist Couture Sugar Daddy highlighter, Sugar Daddy. And I just use what's left on the lid. But before I do that, I go in with my Pixie Glow mist, and I just spray that on the areas where I'm trying to highlight. I try to cover my nose because that gets oily on its own. And I put the highlighter on my cheekbones, above my eyebrows, not the middle of my forehead, because that makes your forehead bigger and you don't want that. Just above, to give you like a nice glow when you turn. I also put it on my brow bone with a tiny brush from ELF, and you can see the difference. And I go in and just blend everything out with my powder brush. And then I spritz setting spray all over my face. I find it dry, so this is a trick from Nikki Tutorials. Instead of just letting it dry, it works much better when you spray it. Girl, I've been waiting for ages for an angel like you. When I collect my wages, I'm gon' spend it on you. Girl, you must have my babies, and they must look like you. This all love, it ain't changing, 'cause you are beautiful.